Morning all. Ooh, it's a bit bright. It's 10:51 on Sunday the 8th of October. I can't know, can you believe it? It's about 19 degrees at the moment. Should be about 20 or so later in, October. It's about 26 around here yesterday on Saturday. Anyway, yes, I'm Tim. This is How to Murder Feet, walking around a bit and some stuff. I'm in Essex. This is Wallasea Island over there, of the Wallasea Island Loop, 9 miles, which is basically that way, and already I'm seeing trepidatious signage. Apparently high tides regularly cover the road. Check your tide times and heights before starting your walk. Yeah, I've totally done that, it's fine. Wow, some of these gossamer threads up in the sky. Flying spiders. Yes, we are basically doing a big old loop there. Now I parked my car somewhere in there. There's like a marina car park with 24 hours, £2, not bad. But basically, yes, this is a loop. So last time we got here and then we realised, oh hello, what's that all about? And the acorns imply that the coast path does not in fact take the Burnham and Crouch Essex Marina ferry, which I parked next to, on the assumption that that might be where to go. But in fact, no, it goes all the way around that island, comes back here and then carries on that way, and I think ends up doing about 20 miles there and then another 20 back. Thereabouts, 15 miles each way down to Battles Bridge, South Woodham Ferries. I mean, it goes at least to Hull Bridge there, according to that. I'm a bit of a loss really, because there's no maps. I can't find any maps anywhere of any of this England coast path, so pretty much relying on signs on the ground. So that means about another 3 weeks, probably 3 Sundays, to get to where the ferry would have put me in about an hour and a half from here. But that's okay, because I'm, somehow find myself day tripping it again. That's actually viable. I don't know what I'd have done if I'd have been backpack week-long camping, hiking and come across this. I'd have probably just skipped all that and felt bad about it and bitched about it a lot later. Had to have come back and finished that up separately, I suppose. But, yeah, so anyway, today we crack on. We're basically doing a big old loop round there and then back, and then come back along this tree edge there and then back along this road to this very point. And then I'm going to have to walk back to the car, which is only about a mile that way. So that's all right. So, yeah, relatively short today, but still significant. Probably 12 miles all in, I think, including walking to and fro from cars to start points and back again. It's very calm. It's almost no wind. I'm going to get quite hot today, I think. It's going to be about 20 later. No rain, anything like that. It's decidedly summery despite being October. So yeah, going to get started. Crack on across that road there, which, according to this sign, hopefully it's just that road that does the flooding, because the whole of Wallasea Island itself is essentially sea defences. It's low tide at the moment. If I come across something I can't do because it's high tide, then I'll have to just not do it, I suppose, and count that off as a loss of some sort. But yeah, the idea at the moment is to try and go around the island and come back. It's a mostly large bird sanctuary area from most of the island onwards. There's a bit of light industrial at this end, some agriculture, but yeah, it should be quite quiet. There's only one road on and off the place, which is this one here. Yeah, and most of the things that you want to look at, actually go and visit, are wedged down this end, so it should get quite quiet quite quickly, I think. But we'll see. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so I've almost immediately hit a snag. Yeah. There we go, relevant information. England Coast Path seasonal route, 21st February to 31st August only. No dogs permitted on this point at any time. Keep to the main path. Open access, natural England. Yeah, this okay. I'm guessing, because this is a large bird sanctuary, they want you to stay off of the grassy bits during nesting seasons or something. What's that bin bag covering? Oh yeah, I can sort of see a bit of an acorn there. Yeah, okay, so right, looks like we've got some sort of seasonal inland detour then. I guess that must be what that means, because that one over there is the return loop that comes back along that ridge, that sort of sea wall there. That must be the way back. So ordinarily we'd be going through there, but I guess not today. Okay, so a bit of road trudging today then. It's okay, it's not a very busy road, although there's some sort of lorry depot a little bit further in here. Oh, hang on, there's another sign. Let's see what we got. Oh, right, here we go. Gosh, that's a lot of beer cans. 1st of September to 20th of February only. I'm pointing out right in the sun, aren't I? Well, you take my word for it anyway. Okay, so yeah, okay, looks like, because I'm this late in the year, so yeah, even if I'd have been here on my backpack week, that would have been a no as well, on the ridge over there. Okay, well, along the road then, I guess. Let's do it. Yeah, so it might be a shorter trip than I thought. Depends how truncated this seasonal detour is. If the intention is, as I suspect, to avoid disturbing bird sanctuaries in the autumn, winter and spring months, then yeah, we might end up just doing a bit of a loop and then hitting the marina and coming back along there. So who knows, we'll see. I'll just keep walking along this road until I see a sign telling me to rejoin the... Well, basically I'll just do what the acorns tell me, because I'm quite simple and easily led like that. But it's not that different. I mean, you can see just on the other side of this field where that's the seawall I would have been walking along, so it's not really that different a route, to be honest. Oops, pointing at the sky a bit there. Terrible cameraman. So I think this is generally why your Simon Reeves and your Michael Palins don't bring their own camera gear, you know. Even race around the world, I'm sure the teams have an assigned cameraman with them. Not just doing it into smartphones, Dogma 95 style. Right, okay, well, it's a strangely flat and wide landscape. And I'm not going to be near any water for a while, I suppose. Not even, I mean, coast, the coast's like 40 miles that way, I think, maybe, across Foulness Island. I'm not going to be seeing the sea for about 4 weeks, about a month now, in my real time. Obviously for you, it's just, click the next video in the YouTube series, I suppose, but yeah, so, and bad enough I'm not even on the coast now, on the England coast path. I'm not even following any rivers. Just walking in the countryside, which I suppose makes a change, keeps things different. Still, where the acorns lead, I should follow. Mind you, look at that. Get to see some of the inner landscape life. What's that? It's a garden trampoline, I think, with full set of springs. Some quality fly tipping there. I don't think that's an industrial fly tip, although that might be. Oh yeah, mate, I'll gear that for you, 50 quid. Yeah, bit of a tip. Literally. Shocking, really. Some people just don't care, I suppose. What can you do? Right then, so that way along that road, and we'll see where we end up. At some point we end up in the car park for the actual bird sanctuary, maybe, but I don't know. If the intention is to avoid bird sanctuary nesting areas on the footpath while during the winter months, I think most of this island might be off limits. I might end up doing like a 4-mile loop and then back to the car for tea and crumpets. So, we'll see. To find out. If we keep walking, we'll find out. Yeah, still on the road. Just absolutely assaulted. I don't know if you can see that gleam. Yeah, you can see that probably. Absolutely assaulted. Oh, it's on me. Assaulted by these spider webs. They're just all across the road, like at sort of head height, sort of drifting in the breeze. Gossamer light, just floating without aid. It's like they're not tied at both ends. Quite speculative. I keep barging straight through them at head height and just scrape myself off every so often. Anyway, yeah, so you can still see the seawall I would have been following over there. And then over there is the seawall I'll be following on the way back. That's the island is half a mile across, I think, at this point, north to south. So there's a car park in there. That's the Exeter Marina. Oh no, Essex. That's where I am, Essex, yes. Exeter's quite far away. Essex Marina, yeah. Anyway, there's a car park in there, so that's where I left the car. So I'll loop back round to it, but then I'll have to do the remaining bit and come back to here. So didn't organise that particularly well, but it seemed better than leaving it in that little car park where I started, that little lay-by, because that looked like it actually floods at high tide. So, so you've got to think ahead. So yeah, so it's just the bird sanctuary ahead of here, so I think this road should get a bit quieter. There's a lot of cyclists and motorbikes up and down here, so just Sunday pleasure perambulating and so on. Most people go off down in there. There's a cafe, and that's the ferry as well across to Burnham on Crouch, which I believe is all that over there. We'll get a better look at that as we come back. Yeah, well, it depends how much of the seawall is allowed to me today. Yeah, not a very interesting one today, I imagine, but there we go. Some of them, the nature of the ECP, there are large parts of it that aren't terribly exciting. That's good. Always skip ahead, it's fine. I mean, the ones on my southwest coast path are probably the ones that are worth watching. So this is all just because I don't know when to stop, you know. Oh, something on fire over there. Is that normal? Is that this side of the river or the other? Keep an eye on that. It's a wide horizon landscape, all very flat. So I suspect might be a bit of a taster of what we got to expect in the entire of Anglia and Lincolnshire. So come the day when I sort of long for a cliff. One of those up and downy bits in Cornwall that have all the steps. It'll be a joy to see again. Alright, past these houses, and I think we end up in the entrance to the actual bird sanctuary RSPBB bit proper. See what the deal is there. Whether I ever rejoin the edge, or whether it's just down the road and back along the road. Don't know, the signage on the entrance implies that I end up on that north seawall at some point and then rejoin, so we'll see. There we go, another step on what's turning out to be a very slow and inaccurate Google Street View. Wallasea Island Wild Coast Project. Oh, it's a project, not just a park or a sanctuary. Quite a large, big deal for the RSNABP. Or was that the blind people? Yeah, which are the bird people. That's the park entrance there, the sanctuary entrance thing. I was hoping there's some kind of clues about acorns along here as well. We'll see. You can go through that green gate if you're going by car. There's a car park a bit further on. I did think about using that one, but that's even further to walk to the actual start point of today and back again. So, farm in there. Go straight on for the reserve. Yeah, some sort of closable gate, I think. Alright, what have we got here? It doesn't go anywhere. No through road. Ah, right. No, I'm alright, thanks. Thought I was hitchhiking. Yeah, anyway, so that's shining at the sun again. So that just goes straight through, which implies essentially the road. Yeah, offering me a lift. Obviously look a bit more bedraggled than I'd hoped. No, I walk for pleasure, seriously. You may have known me from YouTube. Oh, push stop. Just saying they're having trouble starting their van anyway. No, right, I'm fine on foot, thank you. I do this because I enjoy it, apparently. So yeah, you're going to have to follow that all along here. Yeah, I mean, this is going to cut an enormous chunk because that sort of loop, that sort of diverts away to the south and round now. So it's possible I'm going to have a very short day today. We'll see. Even shorter if I start accepting lifts from strangers. I don't know, did she have any candy? I couldn't tell. Let's see, right, so the gate slides across there, it closes at sunset apparently. And then this side is an exit only, sort of flappy things on the floor, so people can only get out after sunset, not in. I see. Right, else you don't want people camping here overnight. Although if I were on foot, they'd have trouble finding me. Actually, they probably would find me quite easily and tell me off. It'd be just a disastrous repeat of Sheppey Island again. Fortunately, that's all different now, so on we go. Okay, well, it looks like we're leaving the road then. Going off some measure of the original path. Whether it goes all the way to the seawall and carries on across, or whether we cut inland around the side, I don't know. I see another sign over there. Maybe we don't go near the actual water's edge. Yeah, well, at least I don't have to follow this bit for now. It's good. I mean, we're coming back along there anyway, so. One of those signs over there specifically prohibits the flight of UAV drones. Like, blimey, what kind of world do we live in? Technology. No dogs. Okay, right, well, we'll see. Okay, off onto the countryside at last. So try and be a bit quieter than usual because, you know, birds or something. Ground nesting and such like. Probably ground nesting adders too. They must be well into their hibernations by now, although rather confused by the weather, I shouldn't wonder. Not seeing much in the way of leaf fall on the trees either. They'll suddenly go, there'll be a sudden collapse in this big wet warm bubble and we'll be back into proper October. Yeah, spiders all over this stuff. Silken threads blowing in the wind. Right, let's see what that sign down the end there says. Blimey. Just approached by 2 volunteers there. Apparently they work here on a part-time or voluntary basis. They saw me staring at my phone and the sign in confusion. I got to register a complaint in person. It was brilliant. Well, it wasn't a complaint, I was quite mild-mannered. I just pointed out I didn't really know what that sign meant in terms of what you do in winter, and they took that on board and will report it. I have to say, the concierge service on this part of the England Coast Path is top-notch. Chef's kiss. But so apparently I just go straight on down here to the end and then I go left along the seawall, and it was just that bit they're trying to keep people off of during winter. So we will get most of the island we expect to, after all, which is good. Blimey. Just standing there, hands on the hips, staring at my phone in perplexity. Can we help? Yes, actually. It's like standing in a department store. Right, good. So much for the windswept, untamed wilderness. So if we follow this, presumably keeping to the mown bit, we go down to the seawall that we would have been on in the first place anyway, having, I don't know, detour of about a mile, I suppose. It's probably about 2 miles worth of it we've not walked along, which is fine, you know. There's a bird sanctuary primarily, and as long as there's an alternate route, I'm quite content. So, yep, onward. There we go. More context. The owl box. You do not want to be in the owl box, unless you're an owl, in which case that's probably quite good. I guess that's it on the stick there. Probably this time of year they do nesting and stuff. Yeah. Okay, now this is looking more helpful. Some unequivocal context and directions. Now I imagine seasonal nonsense ends at this point then. So there we go, that big old chain, lots of explanatory stuff. Okay, so that's not that bad actually. Relatively small detour really. Yeah, but we're not going in there this time of year. That's fine. They live here, I'm just passing through. I'll probably never be here again after today. It's into the sun again, let's try the other side. Well, that's quite clear. Yeah, there we go. Check your calendar, use direction accordingly. And then all year round this way. So let's see if we can see a river, at least. Some small consolation for not being on the coast. No, it's a salt marsh. That's good. Fair enough. And to be honest, I think I might keep to the mown lower section anyway, so I don't disturb any like voles and shrews and things that are on top of here. So we did all that other side last time. That's all look a bit does all start to look a bit samey, I will admit. This is perhaps not the most interesting of my day stages. Right. Actually, yeah, those 2 volunteers up there still making notes about Confusion Corner. I mean, Confusion Corner will forever, presumably, it will get a sign which will forever be a small piece of tin. A small piece of Tim's ignorance, writ large in metal, in the middle of the Essex Fens. But yes, I imagine, given my encounter at Confusion Corner, I begin to wonder seriously if I could have gotten away with a night while camping out here, to be honest. Probably not, it does seem quite... I think policed is quite an aggressive word, but certainly there are concerned citizens walking around the place with some degree of authority. So this would have been the end of day 2. I know, of my long trip, my backpack week, where I basically would have been trying to get to the far end of here somewhere, and then just dropping the bag and doing the necessary, in the hope that no one would mind or notice, and I wouldn't deliberately be causing any trouble, although my mere presence may be off-putting to some sorts of birds and wildlife, I suppose. because this would have been a Monday on that week, and the ferry that runs across there doesn't run on a Monday. So I would have had to have burnt the day basically by just walking around this bit and sleeping, so that I could have approached that ferry fresh Tuesday. But it's all different now, so who knows. No point second guessing might have beens. This is the parallel universe, the trousers of time that I've chosen to jam both legs uncomfortably into. So here we are. We should hop forward in the correct trouser of time. Or something. Gonna walk quietly for a bit. Right, let's see what we got. That's the overall shape. There I am. Just done some of this, I suppose, or did we come down here? Or oh yeah, there probably. Okay, so ECP not on there at all, but at a guess I'd say it probably takes the outer perimeter. Not sure what it does here. It might go to the end and back. I wanted to go to the end and back when I saw it on a map, so I might do it anyway. And then comes back along here to the marina, yeah. Caroline's Hide. That's not a very good hiding place. Look, it's on the map. Okay. Go away, dogs. Yeah. Do not walk on top of the seawall. Ah, I'd intuited that. They're saying for safety reasons, but you know, I suppose it probably disrupts nature a bit as well. Half Moon Viewpoint, 2.9 kilometres. We're all metric here. Okay, so that's 2.9 kilometres, which is about what, 4 miles, something like that. Is that right? No, kilometres are shorter than miles, aren't they? So it's actually about a mile. That's fine. Rather it was shorter than longer. Good. Wild bird cover, grazing much. Okay, they divide it into different sectors to provide different kinds of habitat. That's good. Yeah. Avocets, lapwings, redshanks, ringed plovers, marsh harrier, yellow wagtail, common seal, black oil beetle, shrill carder bee. Here in spring, summer, here all year. Okay, well, as I say, I'm not a stealthy hiker, so I doubt any of it will be around when I'm in view, but we'll see. I might try some zoom photography if I catch anything, see it. That's probably what these hides are for. That must be Caroline's Hide then. I think there's one on the end of Half Moon as well. See those as we go. Yeah. Quite an unusual landscape. Oh, I keep pointing at the sky. That's because I'm looking with my eyes instead of looking into the back of the phone. Bench of the Dead. Kim Milnes, 1954 to 2019. He helped create this beautiful place. Right. Doesn't say in what capacity. Lawn mowing, erecting signs, or town hall bureaucracy type. Whichever. All much appreciated. It's nice. I mean, I totally understand this isn't here for my benefit. This is here for the benefit of birds. But I don't know. Isn't it? I mean, it seems at first glance you think this. Obviously, it's a nature reserve. It would seem to be natural. But then you look at this seawall, which encircles the entire thing. The work of a lot of man hours and brute strength. I imagine much of it was erected before the advent of the JCB. So this is not a natural landscape by any stretch of the imagination whatsoever. It's entirely man-made, this area. We literally built a wall to keep the sea out. And there's all these rivers on either side. So the north is the Crouch and behind is the Roach. And they're both tidal, quite extensively, as we saw last time. And yeah, this would just all be gone. It'll be eroded away into the sea. There'll be a bunch of islands, maybe. Some of the higher rising stuff might still be sticking out in the sea, but even that's questionable. I think much of the story of the East Coast, I mean, we've seen it since like Margate, essentially. It's been one continuous concrete seawall from Margate all the way back to Southend, up and down the Thames. And then beyond, we're seeing all these earthwork walls as well. So, I mean, the entire east side of England is essentially a story of the struggle against the sea. All man's cunning and devices and ingenuity pitted against an utterly relentless and implacable foe who can wait forever if necessary. Well, this is holding well, certainly. What do you call it? Post-natural landscape? A natural landscape here is essentially about 200 or 300 miles of north-south marshland being just swamped and eaten away by the sea. The river estuaries turning into mangroves or whatever the northern temperate climate variant is. Just tangled salt marsh all the way into, yeah, well, quite far in Chelmsford, whatever. No, I mean, this exists because we decided to carve land out of the sea defences, walls and stuff. I don't know what the original intent was, farmland, I suppose, because the idea of this much land being just given over to wildlife is a very, very modern, very recent thing. I don't know what the original intention of these sea walls would have been, probably to just make more farmland available. If all your neighbours own land and you've got land on the edge of the sea, you can make more land out of literally nothing by just building enough walls around the outer edge of it, draining it all. Suddenly you've got twice as much pasture as you had. Probably couldn't plough much of this, but I don't know. Stuff over before we got to the marina was ploughed, was farmland, not just pasture. But then I don't know. Yeah, times change, sensibilities change, economics change. And for some reason it's now seen as the done thing to leave all this to wilderness, essentially. Managed wilderness, quite managed. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but economically speaking, it could probably be earning more money for someone. But then I don't know, there are all sorts of really advanced costs involved in trying to raise cattle on land like this. Maybe it's no good for anything else. I mean, a couple of these we've seen on the way so far have been turned into landfills, so. And they've all got those little methane escape pipes poking out of the ground all over the place. Like there's a whole underground city of Morlocks living down there. I don't know, I'm rambling now. But no, I like it. I'm not sure you could do with a few more trees, but I don't know, is that useful for birds or not? I suppose you want just marshland on purpose, but a sort of controlled, managed marshland. There are some trees over there. I think that line of trees, that's actually Foulness Island. That's all the MOD bit over there. I think we turned left and cut northward before we hit those trees. Those trees aren't us. I think we'll be seeing across the water to the scary red stripy MOD bit, which I think those trees are largely on the horizon. Yeah, we'll see when we see, I suppose. A lot of wind turbines over there. They're all on the north side of the Crouch. Won't be seeing those in person for quite some time. That's the stage out of Burnham on Crouch. That'll be 1, 2, 3. It'll be 4 weeks' time, I think, probably. Assuming I don't do anything else with the Sunday between now and then. I might. I don't do this every week. Some weeks I don't. Some weeks it's nice just to lie in bed all day. Shuffle about the flat in my slippers, you know. Yeah. There we go, yak, 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 yak. Such a wonderfully silent place. Probably because all the birds have been shocked into utter silence and terror by me being here at all. Just distant crows, I think. Oh well, I guess the sooner I get walking, the sooner I can be out of these birds' hair, feathers, whatever. Onward, onward, onward. Oh, get off, spider webs. Honestly, it's a ridiculously ambitious web plan you had there. Okay, you've caught me, now what? Right, so this is the junction where I think we've sort of thought the beagle might have been laid to rest. HMS Beagle across there, so we've managed to deal with that channel. So back onto another river. I think that one is the Roch. I don't know, there's a sign here, it's probably got some information on it. Yes. River Roch. HMS Beagle. Oh, look, see, I didn't make it up. Well, I mean, Wikipedia thought I didn't either. Sheerness Dockyard. Seconded to the Navy's civilian Coast Guard service, posted to the River Roch at Pagglesham. Which is basically that. She's refitted as a static Coast Guard watch vessel, stationary observation post for storage and quarters for the men of the service. Right. Oyster fishing going on there, okay. Oh, that's what those like bays, that's fenced off area. That was an oyster bed, I think, probably. Yeah. Petition from local oyster merchants moved to shore, tied up on the river. Smugglers in Decline 1870. Beagle was renamed as Watch Vessel 7. Activity of Smugglers in Decline. Watch Vessel 7, 50 years after she was launched, was sold to 2 local men from the area to be broken up. Yeah, there's some sort of QR code thing there. I don't know if you can scan that through the YouTube, whatever. I'm sure you can do the Googling as necessary. So is that the Beagle's anchor? I think I walked past that. Well, anyway, that was all last time. We're going onwards. So we're following the Roch now, Roach, whichever. A wider river, which is a bit more of a pleasant aspect than the grubby mud flats. And yeah, just following it right down to the trees at the end, I think, or some way towards. I think around about at the trees we turn left, go back to the top, and then back along the other way. So, we're a bit higher up now, a bit more of a view. Path's actually on top of the seawall. That's a bit pleasing. I like seeing open water. Don't know what it is. Conditioning at this point, frankly. Right, yeah. Talk more later. Typical, the only shaded bench for about 5 miles in any direction, and it's occupied. Hey-ho. Quite a permanent looking bird hide. Alright, I think we go up onto there. Yeah, here we go. So there's a turn north now then, so probably not as far as I thought. I think, well, we'll get on top and see in a minute, but I think the stuff the other side is open to the sea, not a continuous enclosed area like this. So look. Ooh. Yeah, seawall breaks down a bit further on from here, open to the sea, this lagoon. That's fine. It's like functions as a hide as well, yeah. Alright, we go up here. Saw those on Google Maps, had vague ideas of trying to use it as wind shade for a tent if need be, but again, different trouser leg of time, not my problem. Save all that anxiety for further future stages. So, just follow this along and get to the north side of the island, and then start working back. Yeah, so there is another sort of bird hide thing on the end of a spit on the north side. I might detour onto the end and have a look at that, even though not strictly on the path. It might be, I think it's accessible. Some structure similar to that, I think. Well, we might be able to get a glimpse of the sea. I would so very much like to see the sea. I don't know. See, that's mostly Foulness Island, Kinetic MOD. Faith, I don't know. I mean, I looked on the map for that, and there's that. Well, apart from the whole Wakering Steps and the Broomway, the stupid public right of way that's about a mile out on the sand, a mile out on the mud at low tide. It does. There's actually what look like 2 small villages on that island, which I don't know. Do they have people in, or are they MOD staff only, or are they just populated by happy, frozen, smiling mannequins mowing the lawn and things, waiting for an atomic bomb to go off? I have no idea, and probably will never find out. So yeah, somewhere down there is the entrance to Foulness Island and Shoeburyness. Southend-on-Sea, yeah, well, you can see the skyscrapers on the horizon there, I think, the tower blocks at the south end. So we've made a surprisingly small amount of linear progress in the last couple of months. But I suppose that's just the territory, it's just the terrain, this area. It's what it's like. And unfortunately, I've committed to following acorns. And the acorns seem to be dismissive of fairies. That's fine. Just enjoy the day, each day comes, day by day. Today's a nice day. Nothing specific about it much. It's quite featureless in many ways, this whole day trip, this loop. But that in itself is a kind of exotic ambience to it. I mean, it's much the same mile after mile, but quite unique, you know, on a countrywide perspective. Not many places like this anywhere in the country, well, that I've come across so far. So that's good. Gentle wind, calm sun, well marked path, soft grass. That's all great. Found a small raised mound in the middle of all this flatness with a thing. Crossrail tunnelling machine Victoria. This section of the cutter head from one of Crossrail's 8 tunnelling machines was unveiled to celebrate the official opening of Jubilee Marsh, 11th September 2015. Tunnelling machine Victoria, named after Queen Victoria, travelled 8.2 kilometres beneath the streets of London from Limo Peninsula to Farringdon as part of the Crossrail project. I think that's called the Elizabeth line nowadays. Victoria weighed 1,000 tonnes, was 150 metres in height. Over 3 million tonnes of earth excavated on crossrails, tunnels and stations was used to create Jubilee Marsh. Oh, I was wondering why dump an underground network tunnel boring drill head component in the middle of a marsh in Essex, but no, makes sense now. So I'm pretty sure Crossrail is now what's known as the Elizabeth line, which I've been using a lot actually on my adventures around the London section, around all the Canary Wharf bits, much of north and south banks of the Thames. I was using the Elizabeth line to get from Paddington to wherever. It turns out that much of the earth they dug out to make all that ended up here, creating this stuff. Interesting. Okay, so what's that then? Where does that even fit? Assuming these are some sort of cutting teeth on that bit. Is that sits on the side of the cylindrical thing, does the walls as it pulls forward? I'm not sure. It's about the width of a standard British rail gauge, but I don't know. Yeah. No idea what that is out of its context. Obviously the plaque tells me, but I'd never have guessed, certainly. Heavy, whatever it is. Yeah. Hello, big old blue signpost with lots of stuff on it. I'm going to go down and have a look. I was going to sit and have a drink, but that's just too exciting to have a look at now, so I'm bringing you with me. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so as I say, post-natural landscape. It's like out the other side of industrialisation into a kind of putting it back the way we sort of found it kind of mode. I don't know. Interesting. It's not post-apocalyptic. I mean, post-apocalyptic usually is a very distinctive sort of thing. That's when things just stop suddenly and then rot, decay over decades and centuries and millennia. But no, this has been arranged like this on purpose. Potentially as a final resting place, or who knows, maybe in 100 years this will be flats, you know, there'll just be houses on covering that, but who knows. 100 years time I imagine a lot of this will be underwater. I wonder if those banks are high enough. Okay, what have we got here then? This is about Southend Pier. Okay, 7.5 miles. Yeah, that's distressing. That was like weeks and weeks ago. It's not 7.5 miles along the coast path, I can tell you. Rochford 5.5. Yeah, came through there on the way this morning. Knots and Turnstones breed on Canada, Ellesmere Island, 2,668 miles. Okay, comedy mileage is coming in now. Went home for my wading birds. Oh, this is where the birds that live here normally come from, I suppose. RSPB Minsmere Nature Reserve, 54 miles that way. I suspect if that's on the coast, we'll probably end up seeing that. 54 miles, I don't know where that is. That's going to be, I don't know, Yarmouth sort of way maybe? Perhaps a bit earlier than that. Foulness Island, yeah, there it is. Can't see that, much of it from here. Siberia, China. Shenfield, closest Crossrail station. Yes, the Elizabeth line terminates there. They keep calling it Crossrail, but I think, you know, time's moved on now. It's more familiar as the Elizabeth line, but yeah, that goes to one of the legs of it goes to Shenfield. Yeah, the other one goes to Abbey Wood, splits at Canary Wharf. Abbey Wood's where I was going to, and then changing for a lot of the south stuff. Yeah, so it's 23 miles away from where that train digging thing. I don't know. That's all above ground. That's Shenfield bit. Yeah, interesting. Right. Okay, so yes, here we go. So if you see, so there's a peninsular arm that sort of guards this north side of the bay here, and you can see a sort of black slab on the end there. That's another bird hide thing. Now the path actually goes that way and then junctions off to the left and continues, but I think I might make an additional bonus stage along there just because I want to go on the end of there and have a look around. And it doesn't seem that long really. So yeah, let's keep at it. I'm going to stop and have a bit of a drink firstly. Only bought one bottle of water today, 1 litre. That's probably not enough really. It's even 12 miles today, that should be 2 litres really. But I'll just tank up at a garage when I get to the car after when I set off on my way home. 1 should be fine. It's not that hot, you know, it's still October, and yes, although, you know, radiantly summery for an October, it is still only about 20 degrees. So. Good. Right, carrying on. Oh, hello, another sign. We can map our progress. Yes, there we go. So, oh, let's back off a bit. Oh, that is in back off mode. Is it? 0.6. There you go. Yeah, so basically I imagine we go around here and the path probably goes along here and then back to the rest of it. But yeah, I might go along to the end and have a look. Schoolhouse viewpoint. I like a viewpoint. And there's several. So that's the River Crouch now, coming on around the corner on the end there. New river. One of many I'm having to deal with at the moment. Don't like rivers. And then, yeah, well, I mean, once we've done Burnham on Crouch and get to the other side, which is now going to be, you know, rocking on to late November, I need to go north around the end there, down to the end and then up. And then there's a great long stretch of dengue marshes. I think that's dengue IE as opposed to dengue, which is UE, which is the disease, fever. And that's, I think, 2 days worth of just straight trekking, no real rivers or inlets or anything. But then when you get around the north end there, you end up in Bradwell. There's an old nuclear power station being decommissioned, I think. And eventually around to Malden, where I would have ended up my backpack week. Oh, God, what was I thinking? Miles. Yeah, a lot of messing about though with that route, that plan. Yeah, so I think the river's let up a bit, but then when we get to Malden, that is the Blackwater estuary, the River Blackwater, an enormous inlet. And a whole load of marshing zigzag stuff's on the far side as well. So I don't know. I try not to think too far ahead really. It just gets a bit tiring. Still with today. Wow, yes. Get the impression I'm here on sufferance really. Well, that's fine. Conservation area, staff and wildlife only beyond this point. Fair enough. Going that way anyway. Up to the end. I think the river's just up ahead. I can see a green sign as well. Let's try a zoom. There you go, that's an England Coast Path sign. I think I could even make out an acorn. Good. Right. Oh, I can see a bird. I spent all day in this bird sanctuary and it's been pretty quiet. Mostly because I've not been pretty quiet. That's a goose, is it? Don't know. Oh, there we go. I went to Wallasea and I saw a bird. There might be a seagull over there. Yeah, I don't know. Closes at sunset. Presumably it's a bit more peaceful for birds after then. Right, let's keep at it. Junction up ahead with the main river. This would be the Crouch, latest in a long line of rivers, which I'm totally fine with. Particularly since this one's going to involve a 20-mile detour that way and then another 20 miles to get back to here. I don't mind at all. No, it's fine. I mean, I've done the Thames, you know, this is just a rookie river, this. But yes, first I think I will go to the end of it. It's quite a long way. That's all right. Head down, trudge on. Worth it for the views, I'm sure. Might be able to see the sea as well. There might be a gap somewhere around there. I'll have to go onto the seawall first. See what we can see from there. Right. So we turn here. So we're now here, around this way and back. So I do want to go down there and have a look at the end there. So it's 1.5 kilometres each way. 3 kilometres I don't need to do, but I'm choosing to do. And have actually factored into today's measure up. So I budgeted for this bit, so that's okay. But yes, ordinarily just along there and then along the new river. We'll see a bit more. There's a load of stuff in the way here. Marsh foreshore. I think we actually end up hugging the river a bit more that way, so we'll see. Burnham on Crouch over there. The elusive jewel of eastern Essex. I will see its streets one day. But this is not the day. Ah, well, I'm not quite at the end yet. I can just see the hide there though. But look everyone. Is that? No, surely not. The North Sea. Off the end of Foulness Island and whatever headland that is. What's that? That old fortification, old castle or some sort? Those windmills are out in the sea. There's a tidal wind farm, offshore wind farm. That headland's all next time, I think. Ah, it lightens my spirit to see it. It's good. Right, let's get to the end of here then. A little sit down and a drink. How are you doing anyway? It's about 1:30. Yeah, plenty of time. Mind you, it's getting dark earlier. It's about 6:10 today, I think, the sunset. So, I don't know. I think it's 3 minutes every day or every week or something. I don't know. It's, yeah, something to keep in mind when planning future trips, because everything's shunting back 3 weeks as well because of the stupid river, stupid path, which means it's going to be shorter and shorter days as I go around that corner on the end there into the next bits. We'll see. I've dealt with it all before. It just means I have to get up earlier and drive home in the dark, which isn't a big problem. The car has headlights, you know, so it's fine. Right, yeah, what we got on the end here then? A little shelter, hopefully unoccupied. I do like my privacy. That's why I kind of spend much of my free time on my own in the middle of nowhere like this. Yes, very, very keen on my privacy. He says, about to upload another episode of his life to YouTube. Good. Well, sailing school's out. Busy. Yeah, went up the end, occupado, by a guy with like a long lens camera on a stick, telescope thing, and all the gear. Obviously some sort of actual ornithologist, which, to be fair, is what these shelters are built and designed for. So, you know, I just took a few photos and went on my merry way, quiet as possible. But yeah, it did look like it was easily a suitable place to get out of the wind with a tent. There's plenty of room for a pitch, although, yeah, I'm beginning to think this landscape is not so much patrolled, I think that's a strong word, but certainly observed. I probably could have camped there quite comfortably, but I may have been rumbled, I don't know. Still not an issue, it's good. Alright, let's follow those boats upstream to the next thing. So we're on the north face of the island now. We're heading towards that, you can see in the distance there, there's like a crane and a barn. I'm sort of aiming for that next, really. That's the marina, so just a long mosey along the south bank of the Crouch now, the River Crouch. Let's see what the tide's doing. Cracking on. Yeah, so on the top of here, heading north. No, east, west. That way, west. That's north. But yeah, this is like a open-mouthed lagoon salt bed flat thing, so we don't get to see the river properly either from here. But, never mind. Just a visitor in these lands. It's fine. So yeah, just keep moseying on really. Largely featureless, but that's okay. Lots of people about as well. Sunday walkers out and about, enjoying the nature. I think if that marina had a cafe, going past it, go for a lemonade about now. I sometimes wonder how suited I am to the great outdoors. Some sort of, well, I don't know what that is. Study centre? park management offices. I love the fence. Goes almost to the other bank. If you can get that far out, you can go around the end, surely. Gotta love a spiky aluminium fence. I think if I could sum up my experiences in the southeast part of England, Thames Estuary, it would largely be spiked aluminium fences. Oh, what am I complaining about? Look, just a quick pan. Count the spiked aluminium fences. Nothing. There's one there. Nothing. And there's the sea in the distance. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm overreacting. I mean, I've been known to do that occasionally. Alright, getting closer to the, my car park's there, I think. Is that farm, or is that the next one over? I don't know. I think there was a farm in between here and the actual car park. Let's see. Just wait longer, just keep walking. Yeah, the main car park for the reserve. I was going to use that, but I thought, no, that's even further from where I needed to start and stop. So a sign saying 2 kilometres to the marina, and then probably another 2 kilometres back to the start of today's loop, and then back again to the marina. So yeah, go. Actually, I don't know why I'm going, there's no real rush at all. Plenty of daylight. Keeping pace with them little sailing dinghies. Man, I can't believe it's another 3 days to get to there. Stupid England coast path. So another view of distant Burnham on Crouch. This is Essex Marina. Coming in onto it properly, but they've got a lot of mooring. I don't know what these boxes are. Old, some sort of pontoon bridge maybe? Some war thing? Don't know. But yeah, lots of pontoons out there, lots of fancy boats. And yeah, the ferry goes from here. Apparently it's one of those call this mobile number on a Facebook page to get a lift type affairs. That doesn't run on a Monday, is all I really know about it. And now I'm not going to have to use it at all. I'll end up over there on foot, the long way round. That's okay. So coming up on the marina, so my car is actually parked in that field there with those dams in, just in front of the boats. But I've still got another 2 or 3 miles to do today, because I've got to continue and finish the rest of the loop on the island and then come back to here along the main road again. So not the end of the day yet, but the end of the day eventually. But I might see if they've got a cafe or something. If so, I can probably partake. That'll be good. Otherwise, it's just trudge on, get the rest of the island done. Cool. Oh, there we go. That was a welcome stop. I feel refreshed. Didn't think there was anything on Wallasea Island, to be honest, but look, here's a industrial lumber yard. Why not? Oh, it's quite a powerful smell of creosote coming off of that. Kind of compelling, actually. Can I get that as a cologne? Right, so, oh, dog shit on the path, careful. Yeah, we're just, spiky aluminium fences as well, right. Yeah, it's all gone a bit industrial all of a sudden. Anyway, basically we just need to go around the end of the island, about a mile at tops, maybe 2. And puts us back at that little causeway that leads on to here. And the end of the day. And then I got to walk back to here again, via the main road, but that's alright. Round off the day. Hit the first garage I see on the way back, get a massive bag of snacks. Quite a lot of drinks as well. Rehydrate, head on home. Fine day. What time is it? That's 3:10 now. Yeah, I'll be done by 4 probably. And then home by about 8. I don't know. 2.5 hours in theory, but I tend to make it 3. I thought I'd dawdle a bit on the way back. So yeah, home by 7ish. Be alright. Yeah. Could get the hang of this, which is just as well, because I've got 3 bloody days to go down there and come all the way back up here to there, and then probably another 1, 2, 3, 4 more days at the rate, because the other side of there is going to be more loop trip stuff as well. Well, all of this is loop trip stuff, although not the day when I go from there to Burnham, because there's actually a train line running all the way from that far in there to Burnham and to some little inland village, which is all a bit odd. So I'm going to do that in a single straight through day, having to loop, but everything else gets a bit half distance really, so twice as many goes, which is alright, you know, keeps me out of mischief, keeps me outdoors and active. I enjoy it fundamentally, but transportation linkages could be more convenient. Heavy plant crossing. Enormous spider plant comes thrashing through. I expect they've heard that gag before. Right, I'll go this way then. Oh look, hello. We're back on top of these. I haven't seen one of these all day. It's been big green signs with white writing on. And we're back onto fence posts again. Jolly good. Right, let's just follow this round the corner. We'll go past a bit of fields and then a caravan park, and then I think we're back to where we were. Good. Lemonade coursing through my veins. Probably shouldn't be taking it intravenously. That's low tide, but it's still a big river. A muddy creek at low tide for this one. The River Crouch. Quite far out as well. As I keep complaining, it goes another 20 miles upstream that way, so we'll see it all before long. So it's a big old salt flat, reed marsh, whatever. Salt marsh, that's the word. And yeah, just need to follow this, swinging south now, and that just goes back to where the land bridge onto the island is. It's the Riverside Holiday Park. Seems pleasant enough of the type. Bench of the Dead. Jimmy, if love alone could have kept you here, you would have lived forever. Oh dear. Reading between the lines on that. It's got a dog paw on it as well. This could be a bench of the Canine Dead. This is something you don't often see. Yeah. Right. Big long push. Well, it's not that long now really. It's about a mile that way probably, maybe less. It's the narrow end of the island, so it should be done quite soon. I was just so set on wild camping when I was planning my original week along here. It didn't even occur to me to see if they'd take tents. I mean, they clearly do. I can see one. It's one of them big awning jobs, but I'm sure they'd room for a little one in the corner. Yeah. Oh well. It's been so long since I've done camping. I've forgotten how it even goes. You know. Plus, you just assume places like this don't cater to tents. You know. Static caravan sites mostly, but no, this is definitely a caravan site of the towing behind your car type variety. I'm sure they'd let you put a tent up in there as well. Yeah, don't know, I spent 300 quid on a tent I've used twice, so I do intend to use it more often, but just how this year's shaken out with the weather and everything and one thing and another, I seem to have not really done much camping this year. Don't propose to be doing any in the year remaining either. Going to be getting cold after this 20 degrees October afternoon at some point maybe. I don't know. Oh well. Right, well, we're coming up on the causeway bit there. Good, nearly done. So there we go. It's about 3:30. We're at the end of the Wallasea Island loop. That's where we went off and got told we couldn't go because it was the wrong time of year. I just arrived from down there. So yeah, yeah, just a short one really. Half three was about 10 miles or so, probably something like that. I'll have to measure it. Felt like a short one anyway. With the unique character of mostly bird sanctuary, but some interesting knickknacks along the way, as we always find. Right, so yes, next time going over there and then probably around there and down that way and some distance towards Battles Bridge, I think, which is where this river essentially ends and can be crossed on a bridge. And then yeah, working our way back up the other side to Burnham and Crouch for the weeks after that. So I look forward to it. And I can't imagine this freakish October's going to hold either. This freakishly good weather. Imagine we'll start to see proper autumn weather coming up, drizzle, frosts, etc. So it'll gaiters on and waterproof trousers as necessary. I'm not going to stop until I get to Malden, frankly, and I don't care if that takes me into December, which it might do at this rate. At least need to draw a line in the sand there. But once I get there, I think that probably is it for day tripping. I'll have to come up with some other project or something else to do that's nearer home, because we are starting to get a bit too far away now. Much further than I originally intended. So, okay, right. So I'll sign off here and speak to you again next week or something.